Hey Roxy, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We're hanging in there, as you know. Roxy was one of our participants in Show Me the Money Club's town halls, and she made such an impression that a few months ago, maybe 3 months ago or so, I did an article because she was such an inspirational human, let alone an Uber or Lyft driver. But her story is a fascinating one. I call the article Roxy the Uber Winterbird, and now we're going to figure out why I called her that. And so, Roxy, floor is yours. Introduce yourself and tell us, why are you the Uber Winterbird?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm 60 years old and I was hurting. I need to figure out something to do for my joint discomfort. And by moving down south, I felt better. Um, I read an article about the U economy and doing all these different gig apps. And I just started doing rideshare and being able to move the business with the weather. And I'm also able to see my family. My daughter's in the army. She's stationed over in Belgium, and I have another daughter out in California. I got people in Baltimore. I got people in Arizona. I got I got family everywhere, and this was something that I was able to do to work around seeing my family, getting into a better climate, but more importantly, being able to make a good income. To I'm not gonna lie, I'm a high maintenance Uber driver, and I've been beating up a Tesla rental, um, and 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 driving into these other cities and renting a car there instead of putting wear and tear on my car because I really have been through multiple car accidents since I started doing this. And while my car was in the shop, is how I got into renting a car. And a lot of people, might not get it, but I had no idea when I started this that I was gonna really tear up my car. You know, I
Well,
remember.
a lot of drivers don't figure that out until they put an extra 60, 70,000 miles on their car in a year. And
Mhm.
so how many cities do you drive in? Because I get a lot of questions about that article and about you. And there are a lot of people actually who want to duplicate what you're doing, meaning
I
move from city to city to city, right? And then
right.
get approved in some cities, but in some cities you're free to drive, but in some other cities you're not. So tell me a little bit about what you do, what the procedures are for Uber and Lyft to be able to drive in multiple different cities with rentals or your own car. But let's just talk about that issue for a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Well, you can go into your back office, into your dashboard or on Lyft and on Uber, and you can look at each city that you want because every city's different, every state's different. But you have to look because like I can't work in California. I have to have the tags and the license, but you can look and see what cities you can drive in. And they're always changing too, because being, in a military family, I have an Arizona license. When I moved to San Antonio, well, I didn't even actually move. I just came here to visit my daughter, and it just kind of stuck. But Arizona on Uber, you have to have Arizona license and you have to have Arizona tag, which I have the license. For whatever reason on Lyft, I can drive Lyft in Arizona. So when I go back to Arizona, I was just running on Lyft, and it's for whatever reason it's easier to do it on Lyft than it is on Uber. Uber's tough because you got to do a separate background check in each city you go to. So basically what you got to do is you look and see where you can go. And then when you leave that state, go ahead and switch your region, and then they're going to do a background check. Now, a background check normally takes 10 minutes, but for whatever reason, and I almost think they do it on purpose, because when you switch, it messes up your promos and things that you're working on at that time. So you have to not pay any attention to that. But when I switched to another city, it usually is very fast up until the pandemic. When the pandemic happened, nobody was really driving. I didn't go anywhere then, but then when I went to go again, they had switched it, like going to Maryland. You can work the DC, Virginia, Delaware area, but you have to pay a $90 inspection fee. And then that covers the drive in those areas. With my tags and my driver's license there. Now they have thrown another kicker in there to where you got to have some kind of permit. And I only go up north for about 6 weeks. So this year I switched to going to South Carolina. I did not switch my Uber because when I switched it to Nashville, it took about 3 weeks to switch it for whatever reason. I don't know, but it messed my Uber Pro thing up. And I know a lot of people, whether they care about that or not, I've found savings on that. And,
So you're saying it used to be a lot easier to, play the musical chairs with all the cities that you drive in, but now it's becoming a little bit tougher?
Yeah. And I believe it's because of the saturation of drivers. It's unbelievable. There was nobody, and I was out there by myself. I felt like I was the only Uber, and people were so grateful that I came to get them, because I was driving huge distances. That's what put the miles on my car during the pandemic. After, once it started opening up, I was rolling in the dough while a lot of drivers sat at home and collected $500.
Yeah.
Where I did not do that. I drove like a scalded dog, and then everybody comes back. And I post a lot on social media, and sometimes I wonder maybe I shouldn't have done that, because now everybody and their mama's an Uber driver.
No, I think I don't think I know. Yeah, but you know what? The economy, the inflation, as you know, things are pretty tough out there, and a lot of people are out there to try to make a couple hundred extra bucks a week, and it oversaturates the marketplace. But I think things will hopefully get better.
Yeah.
So how many cities have you driven in? Like, if you can give me a count, 5, 6, 7?
Well, when I lift all the way to where I'm going. I start out in Scottsdale, Arizona, and go all the way to El Paso, switch there, San Antonio, Austin, Houston, Dallas, Texarkana. I do really well in Little Rock, Arkansas. I stay in a back-to-back, and that's a little bitty small market. And then I go into Memphis, and then I work West Memphis, into Mississippi, Arkansas, and Tennessee, down there in that tri-area. That's tricky too, because you have to have an inspection in all those states too. But which is, you can do it. All you got to do is just mail it in. It's no big deal. And then I go up to Nashville, Knoxville. Oh my God, Knoxville is amazing. I get drug into Kentucky, but I can't get any rides in Kentucky because you got to take a 4-hour test to be able to drive in Kentucky. That's another one.
Right. So you've been in all these cities, right? And obviously, we always say on the Rideshare Guide that you have to know your city, to have strategy, to make plans. So you're basically have seen this all and done it all. Now, I mean, we know I wasn't going to ask this to all the drivers I'm interviewing that I did articles on, but I think it's become a really important issue. So I'm going to ask you that too. So, we know Uber and Lyft both have introduced upfront earnings or upfront fares over the last 2-3 months, right? So,
Right.
how has it affected your earning power? Has it made a difference in a positive way or a negative way? And do you like it? I mean, I think that's a fair question.
Well, I like having the information, especially being a lady driver, and I do work opposite of the part-time people. So I feel like it's helped me safety wise. If I need to get out of a situation, I can get out of it easy, by knowing where I'm going. What my problem is they're playing games with it, because I toggle off and on, because while you're driving is when they give you the big time garbage. It's almost like, oh, Roxy's moving to another corner. Let's talk it to her, because I'm very, I can't focus on that phone in my driving in this traffic and stuff. So I always park, and every now and then I forget. That's one thing cool about driving a Tesla is I'm qualified as a premier driver, comfort green, those different ones. So usually instead of toggling off, I'll leave just my premier on and get to where I want to go. And then if I get a premier ride, hallelujah, because they pay good. Not everybody has that, and that feature's glitched too. Some people aren't offered to be able to do that. Why, I don't know.
Yeah, we talked about that on the show. We talked about that on the show. They're restricting switching preferences while you're on a trip. You have to actually get offline to switch preferences and then get back online again. But they have their own tricks and dirty ways of doing it. But so in general, you like upfront fares, right? Because you know where you're going, right? You know the destination.
Yeah, I just don't like I don't like having to read it. I wish they would come out with some way to voice it. And it's very embarrassing when you have a passenger in the car, because somebody's going to get killed with this feature. I just
yeah. Well, you can turn the trip. You can always click on. We said that we did a video on that. You can always push my last trip or my last request. So that way,
yeah,
you will not get trip radar. You will not get pinged. With all the garbage that they're sending you, right?
Yeah, and that's what I do. But every now and then I forget to switch it.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
So how long have you been doing this? Since 2018, right?
Well, it was 15 when I started altogether, but I've been doing it full time since 16.
So 16, you've been traveling the country, making money, driving Uber, renting a Tesla here and there, right? I mean, you do. Yeah. You also have your other, avenues of income, I'm sure, right? And so how long?
I'm a multi-apper. I'm a multi-apper too. I don't do, and especially that's came into play again now. Like during the pandemic, I was doing a whole lot of deliveries, and then now it's gone back to where I'm back doing Spark. And well, the Uber Eats is just ridiculous. I don't even want to do Uber Eats. That's garbage.
Right. So you have figured this out. You have figured this gig out that you can travel, see family, stay with family, and at the same time make money, right? So that is why I like the gig economy, because you can do these things. In what regular job can you do this? Can you tell your boss, "Oh, I'm just going to take off and go do this for 6 weeks," right? You can't. So. But there's also the downside of the gig economy, which is, like you said, oversaturation. There's many more drivers out there now. But how how much longer do you think you're going to be doing this? How much longer are you going to be the Uber Winterbird?
Oh, well, I'm going to stay. I know a lot of people are quitting and going and getting regular jobs, but I unfortunately, I'm lucky to get in and out of the car with my medical stuff. So I'm stuck. It's been quite sickening to me, some of the things that they're doing, and it's trickery.
We know that. We know they do that. So if you had, you like the flexibility, you like the freedom, which a lot of drivers say they do, right? And in your case, I mean, you're the perfect example of flexibility and freedom. You're flexible enough to drive in many different cities. Your freedom, is unrestricted, although it's becoming, you're saying, a little tougher to, get approved in different cities. But still, you're able to do what you want to do. So if you were to give advice to other drivers who want to do what you want to do, they want to go through the country and drive and make money and meet new people, what would your advice be?
Oh, geez. Well, you got to just figure in all the factors. Where are you going to stay? The cost of renting a place wherever you go, or I go to places where I have family so I can stay with them. And I do Airbnb, and I Airbnb as well when I'm going to leave to go to another city too.
Right.
That's another gig. That's another gig too. Airbnb. But yeah, you have to check out where you're going. If you don't know the area, if I go into an area I've never been, like Charleston, I studied everything about it. These people didn't even know I wasn't from there. The Southern accent really helped. Some people could tell that it was different, but they thought I was from there. I may tell them that I'm not from there, or I may. It depends on how the conversation goes. I'm a very chitty chatty driver.
I'm sure you are. I mean, but your personality attracted us, when you were on the town hall, right? So to me, where are you now? You said you're in San Antonio now, right?
Yes, I'm in San Antonio, and I'm working San Antonio and Austin.
Okay, what's the next stop?
Um, I'll go back to Nashville.
And then if you end up in Charleston again, ring up Jeff. Remember Jeff from the town hall, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
he's
and that's where my sister lives now.
Okay.
I really loved it, and I might buy a place there and to do Airbnb, and then that way I'll have a spot there.
That's
You
awesome.
really, you got to think about that. And I won't lie, I got a Tesla bed too. If I have to, I'll put it in camping mode.
Yeah, you love those Teslas. I know that. So the last couple of minutes that we have, I mean, we know why you're doing it, right? You like doing it. You're doing it. It's giving you you're making money while you're doing it. Is your income the same as it was? Because I know from the article when I wrote it, I mean, you put up some crazy good numbers, right? Is your income the same as before?
No, it's not. And I'm going to tell you, it's because I didn't bring this up, but I work out of a Jetta R line, and my transmission is out, so I got to get another transmission. So I'm only doing Uber, and you have to do Uber and Lyft. You can't, it's just, you have to do both. It really, to be able to make those numbers. But yeah, I'm not doing well in San Antonio at all. I'm having to sit and wait. It's not good.
It's a tough market. San Antonio is a tough market, and
yeah, it is.
And Florida is a tough,
tough.
Florida is a tough market right now. I mean, it's very, very oversaturated. So, tell me lastly, if I mean, you do have a plan B, I'm sure, right? Because I mean, look, you still have the energy, you still have the bubbly personality, but driving is tough on the body, tough on the mind. Okay. And physically, mentally, it's a tough thing to do. How much longer do you want to do this? Number one. And number two, do you have like a plan B? Like you said, you have, want to buy a place to Airbnb. That could be a plan B for you. And what else? What else you have, cooking? What's going on?
Well, I mean, I do health and wellness stuff. It it's on anything online, but mainly I plan on getting into to doing rentals on cars and places to stay. But that's pretty much it. That's my deal. I'm not gonna open up another body shop, that's for sure.
So you're gonna keep trucking, you're gonna keep doing what you love doing, traveling the country, making some money. And I know you had said you have an order in for the Tesla truck, right?
Cybertruck, yeah.
Cybertruck. So what are your plans with that? Once you get that, you're gonna rent it, or what are you gonna do with that?
No, I'm gonna drive that one. Okay. I'll rent my other one.
Okay.
But yeah, that's really gonna be some time out, because they haven't even they're just now gonna be producing them, and as many people are on the waiting list, this could be 3 more years.
Yeah, I agree. So I mean, I've known you for a while now, and I think you're terrific. I think Uber is blessed and Lyft is blessed to have you as a driver, because people like you don't come around that often. So I'll give you 1 more minute to say anything you want to say to our viewers, and then obviously they will watch this, and then you're an inspiring human. I mean, if there are people who are watching this later on and they want to do the same thing that you do, maybe we'll even put them in touch with you so you can guide them.
Well, I would like to say that the Rideshare Guy channel has been my saving grace. I didn't even realize that my daughter bought me the Rideshare Guy book, and I pretty much tore it up. If I could do it all over again, I would have never ran out and bought a brand new car. I never would have done that. That's my only thing. But just you got to keep up with, making sure that you're not just hitting the button, taking any old thing, because it's a game. It's deal or no deal. And they're also doing it on the rider side as well, because I'm a rider as well. That it's deal or no deal. Do you want $25 ride, or do you want a $20 ride? And I take the $20 ride, and then the other guy says, "Hey, we now have somebody that'll do it for $20. Deal or no deal." You gotta it really. I worry about my ratings, because I'm a premier driver is my thing, but you can do it. You can pick and choose the type of rides you do without messing your acceptance rating up a whole lot. You just got to play the game. You got to toggle on and off. Thank you guys for all the information that you do give to help other drivers, because they don't give you all the information. That's for sure. It's here's your background check.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, there's your car. If you can breathe and you have a license and a background check and a car, put the gas on and go, right? I mean,
yeah, because the startup promos they give a new driver, you think, oh my God, this is the deal. And then as soon as those promos run out, you're just a peon like the rest of the drivers. It really sucks you into the business. Totally study the business as much as you can before you jump out there, and don't hesitate to ask another driver for help, because we're all a bunch of chickens. We don't want to all mix together. Maybe somebody doesn't want to share their trade secret, but I've always been one to help somebody else, because somebody else helped me when I started.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I mean, I'm glad I'm doing the Show Me the Money Club thing, because otherwise I wouldn't have met amazing human being like yourself. Obviously, we keep in touch, and we're going to keep keeping in touch. And, thank you for doing this with me. And I will see you soon.
All right. Thanks, guy.
Take care.